In April, blood clots emerged as one of the many mysterious symptoms, attributed to COVID-19, a disease that had initially been thought to largely affect the lungs in the form of pneumonia. Months into the pandemic, there is now a growing body of evidence to support the theory that the novel coronavirus can infect blood vessels, which could explain not only the high prevalence of blood clots, strokes, and heart attacks, but also provide an answer for the diverse set of head-to-toe symptoms that have emerged. We see blood clotting, we see kidney damage, we see inflammation of the heart, we see stroke, we see encephalitis, swelling of the brain, says William Lee, 1500th, president of the Angiogenesis Foundation. If you start to put all of the data together that's emerging, it turns out that this virus is probably a vasculotropic virus, meaning that it affects the blood vessels, says Mandeep Mehra, MD, medical director of the Brigham and Women's Hospital Heart and Vascular Center. In a paper published in April in the scientific journal The Lancet, Mehra and a team of scientists discovered that the SARS-CoV-2 virus can infect the endothelial cells that line the inside of blood vessels. Endothelial cells protect the cardiovascular system, and they release proteins that influence everything from blood clotting to the immune response. In the paper, the scientists showed damage to endothelial cells in the lungs, heart, kidneys, liver, and intestines in people with COVID-19. The destruction of the lung tissue breaks open some blood vessels, Mehra explains. A respiratory virus, infecting blood cells and circulating through the body is virtually unheard of. Other types of viruses, such as Ebola or dengue, can damage endothelial cells, but they are very different from viruses that typically infect the lungs. The additional protein the original SARS virus requires is only present in lung tissue, but the protein for SARS-CoV-2 to activate is present in all cells, especially endothelial cells. An infection of the blood vessels would explain many of the weird tendencies of the novel coronavirus, like the high rates of blood clots. The endothelial cell layer is in part responsible for clot regulation. It inhibits clot formation through a variety of ways, says Sanjam Sethi, MD, MPH, an interventional cardiologist at Columbia University Irving Medical Center. Damage to endothelial cells causes inflammation in the blood vessels, and that can cause any plaque that's accumulated to rupture, causing a heart attack. Blood vessel damage could also explain why people with pre-existing conditions, like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, and heart disease are at a higher risk for severe complications from a virus that's supposed to just infect the lungs. All of those diseases cause endothelial cell dysfunction, and the additional damage and inflammation in the blood vessels caused if you have blood clots within the blood vessels that are required for complete oxygen exchange. Even if you're moving air in and out of the airways, if the circulation is blocked, the full benefits of mechanical ventilatory support are somewhat thwarted, says Lee. A new paper published last week in the New England Journal of Medicine, on which Lee as a co-author, found widespread evidence of blood clots and infection in the endothelial cells in the lungs of people who died from COVID-19. Even the structure of the blood vessels was different in the COVID-19 lungs, with many more new branches that likely formed after the original blood vessels were damaged. Finally, infection of the blood vessels may be how the virus travels through the body and infects other organs, something that's atypical of respiratory infections. Endothelial cells connect the entire circulation system, 60,000 miles worth of blood vessels throughout our body, says Lee. The question he's now trying to answer is whether that's because there were simply more patients at the hospital during that month, the peak of the pandemic, or if COVID-19 patients really do have a higher risk for blood clots. I suspect from what we see and what our preliminary data show, is that this virus has an additional risk factor for blood clots, but I can't prove that yet, Sethi says. The good news is that if COVID-19 is a vascular disease, there are existing drugs that can help protect against endothelial cell damage. Most of their benefit in the continuum of cardiovascular illness, be it high blood pressure, be it stroke, be it heart attack, be it arrhythmia, be it heart failure, in any situation the mechanism by which they protect the cardiovascular system starts with their ability to stabilize the endothelial cells. Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe.